Well, Herbert Ross, we were just talking before the cameras went on about some of the odd genres that crop up in the movies.
Right.
Composer biographies, you've done dance films, comedies. This film, it would strike me that Boys on the Side is very tough to categorize in any way.
Well, it's a very original script and a very original piece of work, I think. I think because it's so honest, and it deals with how we live now in 1996, and that's still a pretty new experience that most people are not prepared for.
Does it stand in its favor, though, that we cannot label it so easily as any
I believe
thing?
so. I believe so. I think originality is to be highly prized, and I believe so.
Remarkable ensemble here. Tell me a little bit about working with these three ladies.
Well, it was just sheer joy. I mean, it was just every day was this thrilling day in which some great discovery was made, in terms of a scene or
off the
performance.
script.
Yeah, so it was wonderful, and the men were equally wonderful to work with.
And dealing with such an issue as this, as AIDS, we've certainly had powerful films like Longtime Companion, and we've had other films like Philadelphia that have taken its own course. Were you at all intimidated going in on quite what sort of touch? Or
No, because I think the times have changed so much in my approach to AIDS. I've lost so many friends to it. That my approach to AIDS is different from the approach on those other movies which treated it as this sort of singular nightmare experience, because I think that there's hardly anybody left in America who hasn't lost somebody, be it a friend, relative, lover, what have you, to the disease, and the statistics on women keep growing.
Mm-hmm. But yet there's nothing about this film that anyone need fear about coming to see.
No, because it celebrates life, that's why. And even though Mary Louise has this death sentence imposed on her, as it were, she still values her life and fights to maintain it. And just that the sad thing is just when she's beginning to be happy in her life, she loses it.
I hate to have you make comparisons, but is Mary Louise Parker's performance here one of the great ones you've ever had a chance to encounter?
It's certainly one of the great ones. Well, I think they're all great. I think Whoopi's great too. This is not just pap. I mean, I think Whoopi's just marvelous in a role that's much less showy. Mary Louise is a spectacular actress, and Drew was remarkable.
Change gears for just a second. You've just directed La Boheme.
Yes, yeah.
I know you're a student of music, dance, opera. And has it been a lifelong ambition to do opera on stage?
No, it's a fairly recent passion, and I just came back from Dallas because I restaged it in Dallas, where it was a really big success, and I'm going to do another one. I'm doing a Figaro here in L.A.
Is that world of the operatic stage really all that removed from something like Boys on the Side?
No.
You've got lots of high stakes, vivid color, good characters.
It's still, finally, it's about, certainly Boheme was about people, and perhaps the operas that interest me are the ones that concern people and relationships, And Figaro is a farce, the Barber is a farce, so that's a field I've worked in, and I'm comfortable in.
In a way, forgive me for putting these words in your mouth, but are you directing operas already on screen? In some of your work
is operatic. I don't know if that's a compliment. Is that a compliment?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in terms of a sense of total choreography, for example, of everything, not just the musical component, but the movement.
The movement of the camera, and the movement of the actor. Well, I encourage movement, but I'm not aware. In a picture called Secret of My Success, there was one sequence with Margaret Whitten that was real, and Michael, that was really choreographed. When she's seducing him in the office of her husband, that's really worked out like a dance number.
Well, yeah. What about the actions of the actors? This dance choreography thing, you really do have to work it out step by step.
Oh yeah,
literally.
yeah. That one was worked out step by step. And there's a lot of dance in this movie. Actually, it's not performed by the principals, but there's that folkloric group that we were lucky enough to find they were from Nogales, the Mexican folkloric group in the picture.
I guess the point I'm making is that maybe some people think there is a great gulf between opera and the film, but maybe in works like yours, where we have a visual style as well as an aural one, maybe the gulf is not so wide.
Well, what binds the two things together is the degree of excellence in the material and the execution of the material, and also the degree of honesty with which the presentation is perceived by the people who working on it.
Yeah. Finally, just about a minute left. You are a major player on the film scene, and you're participating in a medium now that is 100 years old this year, depending upon what date
Good Lord.
you choose. That is a bit of a shock, isn't it? Can you comment briefly on being involved in a medium that is so young and has come such a long way, I think, just in general terms?
No, because I guess the theater goes back 2,000 years, so
True.
I think 100 years is a relatively short time, and I really think of film as an extension of fusion, like the opera, of all of the arts of drama, dance, music.
But at least,
you know?
would you admit that it's no longer an upstart tugging at the sleeve
No,
of the legitimate
it's
stage?
it's not tugging at the sleeve. As a matter of fact, it's annihilated the legitimate stage.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but it's no, and it's the most powerful medium there is now to communicate with people because of the nature of it, and also through the invention of television. So I feel very lucky to have been here, you know.
Maybe on that note, we could just conclude with a happy birthday to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Herbert Ross, Director of Boys on the Side, and I'm John Tibbetts with Mr. Ross here in Los Angeles for KCTV5.